I wanted to first get you some work time and then I'll give you the rule of 72. Otherwise, there's too much at the same time that you're having to digest. So I need you to, on your study sheet, have a rule of 72 section under finance. This is an estimation tool, and it's to estimate how long it would take for your investment to double. Do you remember doubling time? Yes, this is what, so it's essentially doubling time. So there's two variations of this formula. One is the time, right? The time it would take in years for your investment to double is simply found by going 72. It's called rule of 72 for a reason, okay? It's 72 divided by the interest rate. But this is important. Do not convert your percentage to a decimal. This is the only time you don't convert to a decimal. Okay, so you actually have to keep it the way it is. And it is essentially the doubling time. So look at the formula. What's the only thing you need? I'm not going to try to give it away. What's the only thing you need to figure out your doubling time when it comes to investing? Interest rate. That's all you need. So if you drive home after this class and you're like, interest rate, 3% interest rate, you're like, oh, I wonder how long it would take my investment to double at 3%, right? Oh, I'm glad I have this formula. 72 divided by 3, that's how many years it would take to double, okay? So that's what this is. It's essentially giving you the doubling time. So this is the most popular one. If you want to take a variation of it, and you want to know the rate required to double your investment within a certain time frame. So rate required to double in a certain time frame, you would use this formula. So if you think about it, the only thing that has happened here is we swapped these two. They were switched over, okay? We shifted them over. And make sure don't multiply your answer by 100 either. So you don't divide by 100, you don't multiply by 100 ever. So these two formulas, have them on your study sheet, but tell yourselves what they do. Otherwise, you're not going to know what they're doing, okay? So oftentimes we ask you if you understand the concept. So here it is. Sorry, I'm just getting my act together here. So here's an example where you would have to stick to the rule of 72. So Mr. D would like to double his $250,000 secret stash in 5 years to retire early. What interest rate would he need? Answer using the rule of 72. So I would say to get the interest rate, I would simply go 72 divided by 5 years, okay? 5 years. And if you do that, you get 14.4%. So if he gets an investment that pays 14.4% yearly, he will double his money in 5 years' time. Okay, so that's basically what you've calculated here. So you need to go look for an interest rate of 14.4%. It's not easy to get, but if you want to, then that's what you need to get. Maybe your portfolio overall needs to be 14.4%, right? So that's how you do that. We're not going to verify our answer using the compound interest formula. Like we could plug this into our compound interest formula and calculate that. We're not going to do that. Here's another example that we're going to do instead. Okay. This is another question, so just example. you earn 2.75% on a GIC. You should know what that is at this point. This? This? Pay. That's okay, no problem, anytime. When I get to, when I try to like push through, that's the effect, the aftermath of that. My writing gets all sloppy. You earn 2.75% on a GIC. If you invest $2,000, how long would it take to have $8,000? Sure. Thank you. Using, here's the kicker, using the rule of 72. Probably was invented by some king. The rule of 72. That's probably how it was first announced. Right? Anyways, so if you have to use the rule of 72, you got to go to your study sheet. You're like, rule of 72, what are we talking about? And here I would say you have the interest rate. So let's figure out the time it takes to double. So we're going to go 72 divided by 2.75. I just made this up, so I have to actually, it's 26.18 years. So it would take a long time for your money to double at that low interest rate. So it would take 26.18 years to go from what? To go from 2,000 to 4,000. Why does it say 8,000? What's up with that? Time and money. Do you remember exponential functions? At the very beginning, we have $2,000, correct? Because we found, what is this again? 26.18 is what? Doubling time. Remember, that's what you're finding in the world of finance, right? That is our doubling time, like how long it takes for our money to double. So that would take 26.18 years to get from 2,000 to 4,000, correct? We got to keep going. It would take another 26.18, which gets us to 52.36 years for this to get to 8,000. See how that works? It's because of it works. That's why. I don't know if you know that Bobby Finn guy, the English teacher. Anyways, so it will take 52.36 years. We've used the rule of 72 to figure out how long it will take to get there. So it started here. Then we're like, oh, well, now we know the doubling time. Well, let's do our table. At the beginning, we've got 2,000, then 4,000, then we got to 8,000. By the way, if you're using the rule of 72, this number will be smack dab in your table, right? I'm not going to make up some arbitrary number. It's going to work out for you. Okay? So now you know how to use the rule of 72. So I will say, I'm actually going to now tell you to try pages 22 to 26. Try to focus on the actual word problems and not so much on filling in tables at first. If there are tables you'd like to fill them in, go for it. but try to do word problems instead. Try to look for rule of 72 somewhere. Okay? Thank you guys. You were great.